My name is Trimble Gilbert. I was born May 1935, about 70 miles northeast from here. They call it Trimble. That's where my uncle Elijah Henry's trapping camp. I was born there. We lived on a tent all winter. Before we run out of meat, whatever we got, and we have to move away and look for the caribou or moose. And one whole family move around, breaking trail with snowshoe. And even way before that, it's harder. They don't even have knife or gun, so people starve. Still, they try to survive. Or many of them made it. That's one of the reasons we're still here. Strong people without any sickness. My dad, sometime I remember he killed 10 to 12 full caribou, and then they cut it up, all that, and make big rock and dry meat. They smoke it. And then same time my mom was working on that skin, and she tanned it. She tanned the whole, all that skin. It's hard work, but they're strong people. My father, a lot of time, he'd take up to Fort Yukon from here. It's over 100 miles from here, and they hitch up his dog and just take off, break trail in front of them. And maybe more than a week and a half, and then he come back with that, maybe more grocery, and like flowers and rice and sugar and tea and some other goodies too. But I remember that problem is sometimes there's a flu in Fort Yukon. When they come back, then we're all catching the flu next day. And that's the only time we have a problem with that kind of sickness. They use a traditional way to treat it, like moose nose, and they cut it and they cinch it on the fire. And also that sometimes people have that ground squirt, and they cinch it too. And also that different kind of medicine we've been using from that, whatever it's grow around here. And they know which one is good for the sickness, so they treat one another with that. Yeah, it's like, tree pitch, people having problem with stomach. So there's a lot of different way they help one another, traditional way, I remember that. Every spring we go up, that a lot of lakes up there. People go after the muskrat. That's the only income people have in springtime. And then one day, that first time that I see that big plane, what happened is there's a guy in there, and he's a trader. And that carols, there's a lot of carols in Fort Yukon. He's a trapper too, that guy. And then he know what people needs out here. So he bring in a lot of grocery and whatever people needs. And then he's a fur buyer. So his name is Jimmy Carroll. There's a lot of carols in Fort Yukon yet. And then he put that stuff by the shore, and then he sat down and he buy all the muskrat skin. Prunes that come out a big box, and oranges is popular at that time. You could smell it far away. Around 1953, my mom went blind with glaucoma. So I stay with them and I kind of look after them. And then when I was about 18, my mom was telling me Mary is around that time. And she's originally from Vinnytai, but she stayed here with somebody. And my mom had told me that. And she asked me, why don't you go ahead and get married, Mary? And she talked to me a lot of good thing about it. And she's good workers, and she's gonna help you lots. She said, good wives gonna make you rich. And that's a spiritual way, not the money-wise. So I understand what she meant, and then and Mary and I, we got married in 1955. And that fall, I built a small cabin. I don't want to stay with my dad and mom and dad. I got tired of it, so I know I could do it. I got enough experience to go out by myself, like trapping and hunting and all that with snowshoe. I got my own dog team. And I'm really doing good, and Mary was doing good. She's sewing, and she do the tanning too. She do everything. And she know how to treat that meat and fish and everything, you know. And we both help each other real hard and hard work. And then pretty soon we have kids, and we do more work a traditional way. I never went to school. I understand English, but not too much. I'm having a hard time talking to the white people. You know the way I learn how to write? I work in store for a little while. I practice how to order different items. Old people try to getting the pension, and they want to send order to Fort Yukon, and then I have a hard time to order something for them, but I look for that, like sugar, flowers, and tea, and I gotta have box and copy it, you know. And the most important thing is shells too, you know, ammunition. And then as soon as I start making money, then I got brand new 30-30, real good one. And then 59, and I was part of a guard unit, and that's where I started learning everything. So every spring around March, and we have to go annual training. I finished about 23 years. 3 years, 20 good years. I know I had 20 good years, and 3-year active duty for them. That same time I work in the school over there too. They got too many kids over there, so they asked me to help the instructor, the teacher. And so we got about 40 kids. So it's too much for one teacher, so I helped him for 7 years. And plus I work here and there. I worked a lot of different. During the pipeline, you work carpentry too, but I didn't stay too long because that church is on the way. I don't want to leave the church, and people need to go to church. I lost my baby, girl, Alberta Gilbert. That time no communications. And while I was down the annual training, and I didn't even know I lost my baby. And when I get back to Fort Yukon, and Mary was there, and she told me all about it, pneumonia. And then it's not a very good day for me, and I was angry. And then that old man, David Salmon, talked to me after that, and he said, I want you to go home and help your own people. So I didn't think too much about it, and I decided I should just go ahead and work in the church in 1961. I keep going training with different people. And then soon as I finish 1961, and then I start doing the church service. My father is an ordained minister too, and my brother, Isaac Tritt, and my brother-in-law too. So I work with them for a long, long time. You know, when I call that spiritual people, leader, grandpa and grandma, and they were so old. And when they, you know that the eyes of the elders, when they look at the certain kids in the village, and I think they know the kids is going to be very intelligent and going to be important leader. They know certain kind of kids like that, so they talk to them. And are either sometimes the kids when we were kids, a lot of energies, and we do everything. Sometimes we do bad things, and then they invite you, come over here, I want to talk to you. That old woman or old man. And you were angry, you know what you did, and a lot of time it's like that is, well, if he tell me that something like that, I'm going to answer him back like that. We plan that way, you know, that when we're angry, I'm going to talk back mean. But then when you come in, and then they told you, sit down right there. And when they start talking to you, there's no power inside of you to talk back. Just like you're just laying on the floor like that, and you're kind of weak. There's no way you can answer those kind of people. This is how strong they are. They got power, you know. And then after they talk to you, and then you listen to them, then they said, come here. Well, grandchild, I talk to you good, and we love you. And don't do that again, what you did. And they're hug you, and you feel really changed. And you walk out, and the words get into your heart, and you can always remember the rest of your life. Good talk too. If you accept my message, you're going to have good life, you're going to have long life, and you're going to be a very important person later on. So don't change your positions, and walk straight in good life. Old man told me about once they built fire with a flint or anything, different kind of material. They keep that fire going all the time. And they share it with one another. Everybody built fire with it. And they keep the fire going thousands of years. That's one of the strong traditional thing the young people, keep your fire going, keep the light on, try hard to be the community Athabascan people. Keep our culture alive, language, and everything.